Right. I think we're live, Mick. We're live. We don't need intro music.
Live.
Who needs intro music?
Who needs intro music, mate?
Right. Just to let you know what's happened tonight. You've got yourselves to blame. All right. Why is that? Can you hear me? Can you hear me on there?
I can hear you.
Hang on 1 minute. What's happened here?
I don't know. I can't see no chat.
Yeah, that's it. Right. I'll tell you what's happened here. I recorded a ramble earlier on, and it's got terrible views. So if I record this one on top of it, then it's yeah. So I'm vain. I'm vain. No, it's not. It's not that at all. Normally we do a Friday night on the Teraces, but as it's Christmas, we're releasing it to the public. So yes, and as it is Christmas, this is also our backup channel. So if you're coming over from Claret and Booze, please drop a like on it because it does help us. It does really help us.
Like on them,
mate. We're very exposed in here as well, Mick, because obviously there's we've banned quite a few accounts over the years. So we're I think the old moderators are going to have their hands full. How are you, Mick? Anyway.
Yeah, I'm Christy, mate. I'm just reading Midfield. The old Shirley Temple's here. That's what he's saying. But you can't see it today. But just in case no one knows, I've got a quiz doing tomorrow.
Mick, do you want to tell us about the quiz? Go on, tell us about the quiz.
I'm doing a quiz tomorrow. It's going to be a fun, laugh Christmas quiz. So, look, just get your pens and paper ready and have a drink ready and just have a good time. There's going to be no winners and losers in it. So, yes, have it. And I'll let me hair out then. I'll let me curly hair out.
Always a winner. Give us a look at the hair, Mick.
No, not under me hat. No. I've got to have it curly.
You're not going to?
No, I'm not going to show it out. You can see the back of it. But it'll all be out tomorrow.
Is it? Has it grown substantially from the last time that we saw it?
No, because I've had it trimmed up since then. But it is going to be growing. It'll be. I'm thinking about George Michael Wham. Last Christmas.
Because weren't you growing it for a fancy dress thing that you was going to?
That was last year, and I got annoyed with it. Yeah, I got annoyed, but I can't. It gets to a certain length, and I need to cut it off. But I'm doing well at the moment. I really am doing well.
It's like the big reveal, isn't it?
Yeah, the big reveal.
Oh, Happy's got to change her phone. Do you know she still ain't changed her phone?
Oh, don't. She's had it. I think there's been about 4 other iPhones that have come out since she's had it.
I know. But anyway, Mick, look, we're here to talk about football, aren't we? We're here to talk about football. What's your? Have you spoken about the Bournemouth game since it happened? What was your take on that?
For me, I was really surprised. I mean, not surprised for people like yourself that actually went, and the atmosphere. When you're in amongst it, it's totally different.
Yeah.
But look, like I said on the chat, and for those that was in the watch along for 15, 20 minutes, myself and the chat was talking about chocolate bars.
Like, really?
Don't get me wrong, it was a great conversation. It was having a great laugh, but that just sort of reflected the game.
Yeah.
People, there was a lot of people that was quite happy with it. I weren't. I still thought it was very boring.
So the chocolate bar conversation, was that first half or second half?
No, that was actually second half. Like the first half,
okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, we played all right. I thought we was a better out of 2 teams, but not that was anything to shout about, personally, in my eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah, the second half was it was tough. It was another tough watch. And like I said, look, I understand everything what Loppy's been going through in his private life. And I really do feel for him and feel, a lot of sympathy for him. But that aside, I've got to look at the football. For me, he's just not the person. Even when people saying about, you could see it now, you could see the team starting to gel together and all this stuff. Well, if that is the team, if that is the Loppy's team game and the best of, or like what he's trying to do, is still not for me. I've said it all this time for years that I just want to be entertained, and that's not entertaining for me personally.
Do you think there could be anything wrong with the structure of the team, though? Because I don't want to go too technical on this, but the post I put in there the other day about Alvarez. So, like if you're trying to play out from the back, and we're watching West Ham pass sideways along the back line, then it goes back to someone who eventually hoofs it. I do think that's because we don't know how to beat the press. So we don't know how to bait players in. I think in the first half, we saw Soler do that. So, what that is a player that drops between the 2 centre-backs, has the intelligence to kind of invite the opposition on to press them, then passes at the right time, and then
Yeah.
basically the player that he's passed to has then got space in behind to pass out. Whereas Alvarez and a lot of our other players are not doing that. So I think I love Alvarez, but Soler did it better and he ain't a CDM. And I feel like the spine of our team, the defenders ain't great. I think Alvarez is struggling in this role. He's a great CDM, but not in this system. Not in the way that we're playing. We've got no forward. I do think it could be exciting, Mick, if we had the right players. I don't know. I might be kidding myself. I might be kidding myself. I'm just starting to think that maybe we've just not got the right pieces.
Look, me personally, I can't see what you're seeing. I really don't.
Right.
Like even on a hope, I really can't. Like Alan Thomas said, down here, if you look at it, it was a good point away and improved performance. If you look at our last fight, we haven't lost in the last 6 results against Bournemouth, and we've had 2 or 3 very good results against them in a kind of way like we're their bogey team, if you like. So I wasn't expecting a massive loss or anything, but. And what did you say? An improved performance. See, I didn't see that, Al. I really didn't. Maybe in the first half that we played a bit better. We weren't greatly better, but it's just for me. That's not the.
I would have been if I did say on the review. I said if I was watching that at home, I'd have been bored with it. I would have been bored. I know I would have been.
Yeah, we was like we could see, like I said, we was better in the first half, but we weren't fantastic by any means. They still had their chances. Fabianski done amazing, but even their shots were, say, at him. That does him a little bit disjustice. But had they had better finishing,
there's a couple of good saves, wasn't there? A couple of good saves.
No, but he's saying he done amazing. He kept us in the game. But what I'm saying is that you don't their strikers or something. You remember like when fuck rug. I can't say his name. Sorry. When he had that header and it was straight to their keeper where it goes either side. Then it's same kind of thing with a lot of their shots, either side of. But then you can say that about really any shot, can't you? Really, I just weren't that impressed. I weren't as impressed as what a lot of other people was in that Bournemouth game.
I think what you do have to accept is unlike the Wolves game, because Wolves are shit. They are, and we struggled against them. And I think with Bournemouth, I think that they're a good team. They're a good pressing team. They're difficult to play against, especially in their own backyard. I mean, look, this could all be dismissed tomorrow, mate, when we play Brighton. If we come up against Brighton at home and it's all shit again, then we know it was, a bit of a false dawn. And I've been, what I'm doing is I don't. It's not that I'm kidding myself. I'm hopeful that we're going to see some changes. Do you know what I mean?
Of course, but then I think that
all the evidence suggests that it's not going to change. Really, that's the worry.
No, because I think that we played, and I'm sure that you agree with it. I think that we played loads better against Newcastle. Like we all, that was probably
yeah.
And then everyone was sort of, and rightly so. They should have been all up, like positive, and we was all hoping that was going to be the change of formation and change of play we was going to see. Well, we didn't. We haven't seen that. And then people saying about that togetherness. Like I said, if that is Loppy's team game performance, it's still not good enough for me. I'm not that hard to please, to be fair to you, but that just ain't good enough for me.
I mean, the worry is that I do believe what I'm saying. With the way that Lopetegui's trying to play, he ain't got the players to do it properly. Alvarez ain't the right player. The centre backs ain't the right player. The right back ain't right in Wan-Bissaka. We ain't got the forward, and that is true. If we had better players to play this system, we would be better, obviously. But the worry is that Lopetegui's persisting regardless. He's persisting trying to play this way, even though he ain't really got the players to fulfil it, which is a worry in itself.
So then, where's that blame lie? Because he's had a lot of money to spend in the transfer that went.
Yeah,
and I know we're saying about Tim. There's that split 3 ways between Tim Sullivan and himself getting the players.
Yeah.
But then surely that you'd be open to get players not just to mishmash together to get the way that Loppy plays. Do you know what I mean? But even with someone like Kilman...
That's not all his fault, though, is it? We can't blame him entirely for that.
But then if you want to look at players like Kilman, who definitely is player, 100% is player.
Yeah, 100%.
If you want to look at someone like that, then he's had, 2-3 good games that are...
And Guido, Mick. Guido was as well.
That's what I mean. So
Yeah.
that's why I've got no real faith in. He's proved nothing to me that there's going to be a turnaround. I can't see it. I hope that I'm in the wrong, and your view on it
Yeah,
is
we
right.
do. Well, look, it ain't that I'm disagreeing with you. I'm not.
I know
I
you're
agree
not.
with
No,
you.
no,
You know I am fundamentally would rather have a different manager. I would.
absolutely, yeah.
I've kind of accepted that we're not for a little while. So I'm just I don't know, maybe clutching at straws. But also I got a comment on the video I done earlier on, sort of saying, why aren't you like Loppy out there banging that drum? Why have you stopped? Well, first of all, quite a lot of us know what it's like to lose a parent. We do. He's been going through that for the last month, 2 months. I'm not a heartless bastard. I'm not. I'm keen to see how he does now from this point. Do you know what I mean?
And I get it. Like I said earlier, I feel sorry for his situation.
Yeah,
And actually, we had this discussion on the chat, and then John said, like, you still got to sympathise with him, Mick. And I probably did come across
yeah,
as not sympathising. And I was saying, look, of course I do. I lost my dad. I know how it feels. It's
yeah.
horrible. But he's in a public eye job, so I'm not being personal with Soppy Loppy. I really am saying that. I've just called him
Yeah.
Soppy Loppy, but I'm not being personal with him. I don't like him on a personal preference. I just don't like his tactics. I don't like the way he plays football. I'm just not a fan of Loppy as a manager for West Ham. It's not the person who I want. So I am and will be Loppy out for me, or just yeah.
Well, I don't think he'll be here next season anyway. I think even if we finish a bit strong in sort of towards the end of the year, I think he will go in the summer because he isn't the man. I don't think he is. He's not what he said he was. A lot of people are talking about Rashford in the chat, Mick. What's your take
Yeah.
on Marcus Rashford?
Do you know what? I think that. Do you know, like Rashford is? I think that I can't work out. I can't make up my mind whether he's had his day
Yeah.
or he needs a fresh start. Because if we can get, if someone got a Rashford on a fresh start, he's a player. He can be a player, Rashford.
Mm.
But has he done that? Like, is he gone down that road of, like how Lingard was, where it's all about the designer label stuff for him and
I think
doing
there's a lot of baggage, mate. There's a lot of baggage there, isn't there, with him?
I mean, it's a lot of money as well. That he wouldn't get that sort of wage if he come
He
to
ain't getting
West Ham.
He ain't getting 300 grand nowhere else. No way.
Of course he ain't.
No
But
way.
yeah. So I'm a bit. I'd like him if we got the good Rashford, but I just don't think
Yeah.
we would get the good Rashford.
I don't think that's fair, Mikey. Another result against another poor team. I don't think you can call Bournemouth poorish. You can't call them poor. They've had some big scalps. They're probably one of the best pressing teams in the league. I think one of the best. I mean, they're not a top team. They're not like a top 4 team, but yeah,
They've
they're
got
not
a good
crap.
manager who knows
Yeah,
how
yeah, yeah.
to play them. Yeah,
And
but
that's the annoying thing. If this team had Iriola, you'd like to think that you'd be seeing a little bit different, wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean?
yeah, absolutely. Well, you can see. I mean, obviously they're going to go for the win more than we are. They're at home. It shouldn't be like that, but that's how the home and away teams
Yeah,
are.
yeah, yeah.
So that's how it should have been. But you could clearly see it. Do you know what I mean? That it was from his style of play. He wanted to come out and have that Iriola. Don't is it Iriola?
Iriola, yeah. Iriola,
Iriola.
not
Yeah.
Ariola. That's our goalkeeper. That's our
No,
goalkeeper. But
I know
yeah.
that. Pair of
But
tits.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a nipple, isn't it? And the areola, the nipple bit around. I think so. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, thanks for the biology class.
But yeah, look, I'm hoping we get something out of tomorrow. I think we could. What are they on? Like 4 straight defeats now, Brighton? I'm sure they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, they're not on
Yeah,
the
don't.
best of them, but I think that they're still doing all right. But if you're on 4 straight defeats and looking for a win, who better to play?
I mean, no, they're not on 4 straight defeats. They're winless in 4. So they've uh, lost 1, drawn 1, lost 1, drawn 1. So yeah, I mean they drew 2-2 against Leicester, who was shit. We saw that. I know they beat us, but they were lucky, weren't they? Really?
Well, they
Against
just took
us.
their chances better than what we did. They knew how to play us off the quick break with our defenders so high up. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I'm surprised that every team don't do that against us. To be fair,
I know. Well, most teams do, don't they? We've been exposed so many times this year, mate. I mean, every game that we've played, even the ones that we've won. I mean, we spoke about Newcastle earlier. Even that game, really, Newcastle could have been out of sight after about 30 minutes.
Yeah,
They
should have
could
been
have
really, and
scored a
should
goal,
have been.
didn't they?
Yeah, offside, and I thought that. Do you remember? And I said that's how they're going to play now because we've done the
Mm,
watch along for that, and we said that's how they're going to play now. That's they've seen that works. That's all they're going to do. And
yeah.
surprisingly, they didn't. They didn't actually. And I was
No.
really surprised with that. So because he had their number, Isaac, whatever you want to pronounce his name, he had them defenders' number all day long.
So in January, right? So it's looking like there is one good bit in those, and that's with Aguirre. So Real Madrid and a couple of other clubs in La Liga apparently want to sign him, and we're slapping a £50 million price tag on him. So we could make some money back from him. We're signing Soler on a permanent, which I think's a good deal. I like him. He's getting better and better all the time. That frees up space for another loan. We need look. I think either Kudus or Alvarez will go. I don't think they'll both go. And if Kudus goes, mate, we ain't getting nowhere near 100 million for him. Not this season. Not a chance.
I think that we get the 85. I do think
You reckon?
we get the 85. Yeah, because I think even when you look, he's not the player that he was last season. Of course he ain't, but he's still probably the most exciting player in that West Ham team. He picks the ball up, he
Yeah.
goes and runs. He's very there, and they know what they're gonna get. They know what they're getting, and I think the heartbreaking thing is that if he went to a team like I'd say Liverpool, and if I said they go to a team like that, any player's going to look better. They are because they're a better team. But
Yeah.
you're just going to see, oh mate, what we could have had. Like we saw it last year with him, and Kudus was the bollocks last year. Let's be fair.
He was unreal. He was unreal.
Yeah,
He was,
unreal.
but at the same time,
I would be gutted. I genuinely would be gutted if he left. I know we would get the money for him, but I would be gutted personally.
thing is, if players do want to go, if players want to leave, there ain't really too much that you can do about it, is there? Do you know what I mean? And I do think that I know he's wanted to go since the summer. He has. He's one of those players that we've got. We ain't got many of them. We've got a couple. I think you've probably got Bowen, Paqueta, and probably, Kudus at the higher end that can play top four football.
Yeah.
That could walk into a top four team. He knows that. He knows what his ability is. So he ain't really got any sort of ties with West Ham, has he? Not really. So
No, he hasn't. No, you are right. And to be fair, let's be honest, someone like Kudus, who's always going to be probably a stepping stone for him.
Yeah.
Of course it was. But it's just a shame that because of what we saw last season, I really think, and I still believe that we could have just seen a worldie at there, like a Payet-esque player for us this season. But it's just, I go back to the tactics and the way it's played. Not many players in this team right now are better or have improved at all under Lope's football. They just haven't. I think that we was having a discussion, and Happy Amaret, I think she's saying, apart from Souček,
he ain't improved though. He ain't improved. He's just the same.
I actually think that he's improved his passing, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do. I do think he's, but that weren't much of a benchmark for him.
No, it's not a high bar, is it?
No, and I couldn't. Sorry, I can't understand where she has come from that. At the Amra, see if I was right about that. You did say Souček, didn't you? And but other than that, there has been no players that have really improved. Even Bowen, as good as he's been, is not nowhere near as what he was last season for me.
No. Well, I think he's coming good now. The Bowen subject, we've all spoken about the captaincy, haven't we? I do think he's changing a little bit. I think we saw it after the Wolves game. He could grow into that role. Now, I've been saying since day one he ain't a captain. He's not a captain, not captain material, not the right character. He could grow into it. He could do. I don't know, mate. I'm just kind of I'm at a stage now where I probably am being deluded. I don't know. I'm just kind of. What's terrified me is the replacements. Like the potential replacements for Lopetegui. The likes of Potter. Fucking O'Neill, Moyes. I'm just thinking in that sense here. I'd rather stick with him for now, for to the end of the season. What is the sense in bringing someone else in now like that? What's the point?
Yeah, but it depends on what the plan is at the end of the season. If it was a case of,
Mm,
or at the end of the season, if you got rid of him, you're only going to bring in a Potter or Southgate then anyway, then if that was always going to be the plan, then get him in as soon as possible. That'd be
yeah,
my thing. But you got to hope again that that's not the case. You got to hope that the case is there's a plan bigger than them sort of managers. But
yeah,
we can't. It just doesn't make sense to have another manager like in the shape of Moyes and Loppe. We've got to go for that progressive manager. I mean, the people that are doing it, it's working out for them. It's how the like the game's being played now, especially in
yeah.
England. And you got if not, you're just going to fall behind on like how we kind of are in a sense. We're just playing dinosaur football all the time.
Well, the trouble is we've mandated him to play a different style, but I don't think he's ever really played this style before. This is the trouble. So they've gone out. You know, Tim's obviously done his work in the lead up to Moyes going. He's identified a load of targets to fit a style that he wants to implement, and then go out and get a coach to fit that style.
Yeah.
Sullivan's intervened, brought this bloke in, and said, "You can do that, J-Lo, can't you? You know, you can play that style." He's gone, "Yeah, fine," because he just wants a job. He just wants a job, doesn't he? And it's like they're all learning on the job.
Of course I can. You can do it. Yeah, of course I can, mate.
3 million a year. Yeah, I can do it, mate. I can do it. No worries. No props.
I'll have him playing like Barcelona, son. Don't you worry.
Yeah, so it is a bit of a mess. You know, it's been fucked up. But that said, you can't say with the pressure that he's had, with all the crap that's been going on behind the scenes as well. We know that there's political issues there. We know that it's played out in public. There's issues with players, and there's the issues with his dad as well. It's not been easy for him. It ain't. So I don't know. I'm just saying now. I would not be surprised to see it turn around. I haven't seen anything to suggest that it will. I haven't.
No.
You know, my eyes ain't been lying to me. But I wouldn't be surprised to see it turn around. There could be funny things happen. You know, they're a team unit. What's happened with his dad could have even created a little bit of togetherness in the camp with quite a few players, because most humans are empathetic, aren't they? Even footballers, they are. So they'll feel sorry for him. And
yeah, but I've said, you know, on here twice, and that it's not a case of being personal with him. But when you're saying he's shit, it's just all about his tactics and the way he manages. It's not personally on him. I'm not calling him shit or like having a go at him personally. It's his tactics and the way he plays football. It's just not for me, for West Ham. I'm sorry. It's just, and I think that's how the people who want him out will see it that way as well. It's not going to be personal. Do you know what I mean? That's
it's not. I don't think it. Well, it never has been. Even when I've been at my most frustrated with him, it's never been like Moyes like hate. I had hate for Moyes. I did. It was personal. I'll be honest. It was personal with Moyes in the end.
Yeah, of course.
It ain't like that with Loppe. It's not like that with Loppe. It's been like shooting fish in a barrel with him as well. I mean, I've not even I ain't even been watching these press conferences. Even lately, I haven't watched any for like the last 5 or 6. You can't understand what he says for a start.
Well, no,
don't help.
The same as you. In like the press conferences at RC, they were quite painful, really, because they was quite. Even that was kind of slow, and they weren't really saying too much. To be fair to you, so I've not watched. I think I've watched about 2 of his pre-match interviews and everything.
You don't really say anything anyway. You know,
that's what I mean. There's nothing really said. It's quite boring and slow, really. So it's not something. If I, like I said, I need to be entertained. I want a fucking manager that comes out and says shit like Ronnie O'Sullivan does. You know what I mean in interviews.
Nick and Mickey, where's the donate button? No, you can keep your money in your wallet tonight, Steve. What we're doing tonight is we're trying to basically get some subscribers on this channel. It's a backup channel, so it's never going to. Claret and Booze is the main channel, but this is one that we do some other bits and pieces on as well. And also, if anything does happen, you're allowed free like copyright strikes, and not even that. YouTube can just close a fucking channel down. Yeah. So get over here, subscribe, just in case, because you'll know where to find us if and when anything happens. So no donations tonight, nothing tonight.
Although saying that, Steve Bell in Terraces, I will give you my bank details after this show.
But yeah, so that's kind of why we're doing it on here tonight. It's a one-off live show for you. All right. But
What's
yeah,
that?
so go on, give me a prediction tomorrow.
Brighton at home. I've got a feeling it's going to be 2-1 to them.
2-1 to Brighton.
Yeah, I mean, I don't ever like not backing us, but I'm a realist rather than just, I do think it'd be 2-1 Brighton.
See, that's not good enough for me. I don't think, as well as Brighton have been playing, I know they're kind of up the table. Where are they in the league? Are they about 7th or 8th or something? I don't know. But they've been doing all right. They've been doing all right. That's not good enough. I think at home we've got to be picking up points. You know, if you want to be competing for European places, you've got to be beating the teams that are competing with you for those spots. So that means perhaps not beating Bournemouth on the road, but you want to beat them at home, and you want to beat Brighton at home. Definitely, 100%.
Yeah, of course. I agree with that. You do want to beat someone like Brighton. I just think that they're more. I mean, I don't know if that Lamptey's playing, but if that Lamptey's playing, fuck me.
He's rapid, isn't he?
Oh, he's going to tear us apart. And they've got some. Who they've got? They've got that Matoma, haven't they, as well?
Yeah.
Who just they've got
they're
players
they're a good team, mate. They're a very, very good team.
They've got players there that could hurt us. And
the one thing you see, Mick, whenever you watch any of these teams, Bournemouth, Brighton, even Brentford to a degree, they've got pace everywhere, haven't they? Just pace everywhere, mate. You know, and we haven't cottoned on to that. You know, we spent 150 million in the summer. The biggest thing for me, the biggest failure, what it's looking like at the minute, is the centre-back pairing. You know, 80 million on Tadebo and Kilman. That is not money well spent by the look of it. It really fucking
you know
ain't.
what, right? I had this thought, and I never dared said it, but you did, and I think someone else said it as well. In this team, a Gerd would be the fucking perfect centre-back 100%. For a Loppy.
Yeah.
I thought that out loud, like I thought it to myself, and I thought, well, I'm not saying that, I would get shot down, but you said it as well. But it's so true. He's got that speed, he's got that recovery speed, and that he would have been better off having him than Kilman for my eyes. Kilman,
but he wanted Kilman, didn't he? I think every manager when they come into a club, they want to bring someone in to sort of put their stamp on things. But yeah, I mean, Kilman's a good player. Don't get me wrong. I don't know what's happened to him. He's literally gone to shit this season. He started well.
Well, they said, I think if you look at Wolves fans, and I know you say about when someone moves on, but they said that his best season was under Loppy. That was his best season. That was his sort of breakout season. Go on now, Lickson. He thought they thought that was his best, and they was well happy to take 40 million for him. So, you know, like, was we happy to pay 40 million? I don't think so. Is he a 40 million player? No, I think I've seen him play one game where you could go, if he could play like that every game, that's 40 million well spent.
Yeah.
I can't remember what game that was, but he was fucking absolutely class in that game. But yeah, he's got no recovery. He can't be pushing up forward on the pitch with that pace that he's got.
I said the mad thing is, right, as shot as Zuma was, we are missing Zuma this year. We're missing.
I always like Zuma. I think in the air, I think he was fucking brilliant. I think we got shitter in the air. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what's happening with that defence. It is shocking when you think 80 million on two centre-backs.
Well, it ain't. No, it's not. 80 million on two centre-backs is ambitious on the face of it, but when you look at what we've got... For instance, how much did Milenkovic cost?
I think he was 12 and a half, I think. Don't hold me to that, but I think he won a lot.
It's just fucking stupid, isn't it?
No, it's fucking stupid. And anyone could see that Milenkovic, because before he come to the Premier League, I know we was linked with him, nearly got him before we got Zuma, but we also, before he moved to the Premier League, we had was it the Euros? It was the Euros. When it went to World Cup, it was the Euros.
Yeah.
And he was fantastic in that, up against some of the world's best. He was fantastic. And I thought, oh, shit, like, is it just a good tournament he's having, or is this the player that we missed out on? Well, it goes to show that was the player that we missed out on. And what a fucking player. Yeah, Cole, 12 million. Yes, I knew it was around that money. It was just...
So Mark's predicting that Kudus will score tomorrow, kiss his badge, go over and hug Lopetegui.
Well, if you're predicting that and you're predicting 3-1, I hope you're right, mate. I would love to see it. Let's have it.
20k, right, we'll just pop over to Claret and Booze, mate. All right? I'll just stop this stream now.
Big Phil, fuck off. I'll tell you what, don't worry about giving us 20k. Use it to get yourself one of Mickey's wigs. You fucking look dapper on it, son.
Go and get some blue cheese.
Go on, mate.
Loves his blue cheese, does Phil. Lamptey is a free agent in the summer. He's a good player, but he's very injury prone as well. But again, we just need pace. We need pace.
Oh, Lamptey don't play enough for me, but he's back. He's not injured at the moment, is what I'm saying. So when he's playing, he's fucking rapid. You can't get nowhere near him. He's a good player. He's a very good player. But yeah, he's too injury prone for me.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I agree. Right, very quickly, people. I'm going to keep on asking you throughout this stream. Anyone that's new to this channel, please subscribe. Subscribe before you leave. Please do. Right, John says we should be beating Brighton, Brentford, Fulham, Bournemouth at home. 100%, John. You know, that goes without saying. If we're going to have any aspirations of getting back to where we were, you have to be beating them players. At the moment, we're the bottom of that pile. You know, when you look at the league at the minute, it's kind of split into 3 divisions. We're in the bottom division, and we're top of it. You know, 14th and down. If you look at that little pile, you've got like Everton, Leicester, and all that underneath us. When you look above us, you've got Man United, Bournemouth, Brentford, Fulham. Just don't feel like we're better than them teams this year, Mick, does it? It don't. No. Not really. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, when you look at teams, and listen, a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this, and I don't mind that at all. But when you look at, if you looked at other teams play, we do look like one of the most boring teams to watch.
Yeah.
Genuinely. Like, this is not even the people, like even Southampton's that are fucking getting better than that. Sometimes some of their play looks better than us. Obviously, you wouldn't want to be in their position, so don't get me wrong when I'm saying that. But really, with the squad, the players that we've got, not only should we be challenging for Europe, we should be comfortably challenging for Europe and doing it entertaining wise. We got the flair players to do that.
Well, it's been under Lopetegui, the football is consistently boring. You know, our build-up play slows us down, whereas under Moyes, it was boring, but you had moments of excitement because you had the quick, fast counter-attacks. So there was probably more moments of excitement playing shit Moyes ball than what we're likely to be seeing playing the way we're playing at the minute.
And that's saying something, Nick, isn't it? That's saying a lot, mate.
And I think maybe that's why the likes of, you know, Kudus maybe did flourish more last year, because he's and Bowen, they're more suited to a counter-attacking game, aren't they? You know, it's kind of playing on the shoulder, get the ball to him quickly and go. Whereas now, I don't know whether you noticed it, right? Somebody made the point in the chat last week. It might have been Nolly, actually. And he said, even Kudus now, he's kind of hesitating, whereas normally his instinct is to drive forward with a ball. Get on the ball, it goes forward. His instinct is to shoot. He's stopping now, he's hesitating. It's like they are being coached kind of out of that mentality a little bit. And that's a shame, because I do enjoy individual flair. I do. Why do you have these players if you ain't going to use it?
But this is why I like Kudus has still got that about him. Don't get me wrong, he isn't as dynamic as what he was last season. Yeah. But he's still got that bit about him that he still likes to do. And that is where Somerville, for me, is an exciting player when he comes on or starts, because he's direct.
He's direct, yeah.
Very rarely do you see him drop, turn around. But every time on the watch along that we have, because obviously you notice it more because it's what you're doing, we are literally sideways, backwards, constantly. And he's sort of like, even if we could be like 3/4 up in their end, but then we'll look back and it could, next thing you know, it could be up to our goalkeeper. He's so frustrating. He's so fucking boring. He's like, ugh.
Yeah, it is. I think half the battle is because we can't progress up the pitch. It goes back to what I was saying earlier on. I'm not going to repeat it. But if you can't beat, if you're trying to play it from the back, that means you've got to beat the opposition press. If you can't beat the opposition press, if you haven't got the intelligence and the athleticism in midfield to have players passing, moving, and the intelligence to kind of bait presses and stuff like that, then you're always going to be reverting back to a hoof. And I don't think, and the issue is we don't have that intelligence in midfield. I actually think that Kilman and Todibo are technically gifted centre backs. I think the main issue is, I think if we improve in midfield, you might see better centre-backs in Todibo and Kilman. I think you will.
I wouldn't disagree with that at all. And I also think that you've got to leave them two a bit more back. I don't think you can have them up playing up
Don't
as
play him
high
so
as they
high.
are.
Don't play him so high, yeah.
You can't do that. I mean, it's just these little tweaks that I think that you'll see a big difference because they're not. I mean, Todibo ain't slow really, but they're not the fastest of centre backs, and they've got a bit of a when under pressure they sort of wobble quite a bit. I think so. Don't play them so high up. Then it kills a lot of trouble for yourself in that sense for me. But as you said, you're not going to repeat yourself, but we are because Loppy keeps repeating himself.
Please do, Alec.
Yes, mate. Get her to subscribe.
You know, cousins, kids, anything. We want to get to 1,000 if we can on this one. That'd be good. What are we on now? 815. 815. So we ain't far off. Try and get to 1,000 on this one. And then, I'll leave you alone. I'll leave you alone. All right?
Until we want to do 1,000.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But, yeah, look, I don't know. I'm fed up being miserable about it. So, I will be. Look, listen. You know me. You know me, right? I'm going to end up going back to the same fucking point. I know I will. I'll end up back to losing me fucking marbles again. But I am going to give him a little bit. I'm going to give him a couple of games. I think. You know, I'm going to give him a little bit of time to see if there's any improvement. Mikey said earlier on that the only reason he brought Scholes on was because he was instructed to. Now, look, I get that and I don't, because he brought him on with 15 minutes to go. With 15 minutes to go, 0-0. If he didn't trust that player, he would not have brought him on. He wouldn't have. If he loses that game, his job's on the line again. He ain't doing it. So I get why people are saying it, because he hasn't done it so far. But that wasn't what Moyes used to do, Mick. That wasn't like, you know, we're 3-1 up, we're playing fucking Larnaca, we'll bring 3 youth players on because they're tick boxes. That wasn't a tick box exercise. It weren't.
I agree with Mikey on that. I'm one of them people who actually do agree with it. I think that was a case of because of that meeting that they had. Over there, I think that he was told that he has to introduce the youth more, because just before that, I mean, all the fans have been up in arms about him not using the youth anyway. But just before that stat come out, you know, of how much youth he played. So, and everyone was up in arms about that. The backlash that got was shocking. So I do think that he's been told to use the youth more often. But we'll see. We'll see if that's the case or not.
Well, it wasn't just that. It was the fact that Lopetegui did come out and... No, it weren't Loppy, was it? You know, when he had that crisis meeting, he came out and he said that he met 2 of his 3 objectives. So when he came in to take this job, he had 3 objectives. But what that revealed, I can't remember exactly what the objectives were, but what I do know is integrating youth was not one of his objectives, which means it ain't even being driven from the fucking club. So if Lopetegui comes in and they say, right, you've got to play more expansive football, you've got to do better in the league, and whatever else, you know, you've got to bed in, you know, nine new players. If that's your job, that's your job. That's the job you've been given. So part of the blame there, or most of the blame, has to sit with fucking Sullivan, because it should be mandated. It should be, you've got to integrate some of these youth players.
Yeah, but mandated or not, but I still believe that he's been told that. I still believe, because I think it's because that for how long he's been there and how many games he's had, we've not seen the youth turn up. So it makes, if it ain't what me and Mike, you know, a lot of other people have said, then it's a very much a coincidence affair, because it just seems weird. After that meeting, then he started playing the youth. That's why I believe, the same as Mike and the same with a lot of others, that he's been told to play the youth. Now, but just going back to, on something that you just said though about, you know, you're going to give him, you're going to be more positive about him. This is what I kept on saying.
It ain't more positive. It's less expectant. I'm not really expecting much.
Right. Yeah. Well, this is regardless. Look, I'm going to be Loppy out. I find the football boring. You're well aware that now. How I feel about this, but for me, I don't want to do what we've done with Moyes for like 2 seasons, where it is you're coming on here all the time, and he does get you down. It does get you, mate.
It's draining.
So for every goal that we do score, and I know this because when the goal that we scored, people couldn't get up for it sometimes. But for every goal that we score, for every win that we get, not many, I'm going to celebrate that regardless of who's in there, because I'm tired of being fed up of the boring football we see. So I'm going to take any little possible win.
That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do. Now, that is all it is, mate. Look, listen, I've already said I am Lopetegui out by default. If you offered me a whole host of managers over Lopetegui, I'd change him now. I would if I had the choice. But the fact is, the managers that I would take to replace him, I don't think we're going to get. Certainly not halfway through a season. We're not. That's the trouble. And I ain't Loppy out at all costs like I was with Moyes. You know, at times I'm not there. I mean, I might be next season if it's the same like you just said. You go into a second season and nothing's improved. But I don't think he'll be here. I think even if we finish stronger, I do think Loppy's gone in the summer.
Well, no, I do hope you're right. But like I said to you earlier on, if it is a case of if we wait until the end of the season, but then the plan is always to have a Potter or that kind of manager in, then get him in there. But if the plan is for something better, nor do I. But if the plan is for something better, just say for an example, like an Allegri or something, where the rumours have been about, and he's going to be. Sorry, I just seen that one about with Bill. Yeah, let's hope we're not going to talk about crisps and that. But if we do, it'll be a crisps topic. But then if there is a bigger plan at play, where at the end of the season we're going to get a great manager or a bigger manager, an expensive manager, then I'm happy to stick with Lobby through gritted teeth through this season.
Yeah. Look. I mean, it's a difficult one because it's not. When you say that, and it's the same with me, I'm not happy with what we've got. I'm not happy with where we are. I'm not happy with how we've spent money. I'm not happy with anything that we've done since that fucking Conference League final. I'm not happy with any of it. You know, Marco Silva should have joined. He was all lined up. There was apparently even wages were agreed, but we won the final, and then Moyes decided to stay, or he negotiated with Sullivan. Whatever happened, we let Marco Silva go. We could have been 18 months into Marco Silva now. 18 months. So everything that's happened since then, you know, losing out on players, Fofana. We still need energy in midfield. Losing out on Duran, losing out on fucking Silva. What's his name? Who's gone to Man United? The manager. Amorim. Ruud van Nistelrooy. Even Slot was offered to us. Arne Slot was offered to us. And Sullivan said he ain't got no Premier League experience. So there's so much has gone wrong. I'm so frustrated with it. But do you know what? It ain't Lopetegui's fault. And I don't even think it's these players' fault. And I'm a little bit... I'm confused because what happened to me? Do you remember that game? It might have been Wolves. I had a bit of not an epiphany. I was disgusted with myself. I was sitting there actually in a game. Now I've done plenty of times before a game. I've said I'll take a loss. It's easy to say it before a game. You say I'll take a loss now, but once the game starts, I'm fucking on it, and I do want my team to win. That was the first time where towards the end of the game, there was part of me that was thinking I want Wolves to equalise here. And that, for me, I'm thinking, I ain't no fucking West Ham supporter at the minute. You can't be thinking like that. So, for me, that's the reason that was a bit of a wake-up call for me to sort of sit back and think, that's not right. That ain't right.
Yeah.
You know, that's becoming a fucking obsession. That's...
Yeah, no, I agree. And, I try and make excuses for people who do, like West Ham fans that do go, I'll not say that we hope we lose, but I want to lose this game because of this manager. I'll try and put it...
Hang on 1 second, mate.
Go on. Oh, no, sorry. So, people, I try and put it as an excuse for people to say, well, that's the club, that's the owners that have made us feel like that. Like, they've made us feel like we want to lose because of the decisions that they've made. Because I know no West Ham fan really wants us to lose. We might not be happy with that, but... and that's just more about a frustration of the situation. But no one really wants us to lose. Like you said, it's easy to say it, even sometimes during the game. But then, if you've won that game, regardless of it, you are happy. You're pumped up. You are pumped up. So that's what a fan is. He's fine. Don't put yourself like under any pressure in that by saying that. It's fine, isn't it?
No. But no, like I said to you, for me personally though, because I do get angry, I do kind of do what I do, but ultimately I do sort of pride myself on being West Ham through and through, regardless how sometimes I might look. When it comes to a game, I do always want us to win. I don't get me wrong, I'm not always animated. I'm not always excited watching West Ham, but I do always want us to win.
Yeah, cool. But that's where I was the same, but I'm being a bit different. Like I said, every goal that we score, I am gonna fucking celebrate it like I did that Emerson free kick. Do you know what I mean? That was lovely. That was so nice. Although it was a good goal, it was a great goal to watch. So it makes you even more happy. But I do love that we scored a goal. Fucking get in. Come on, you fucking mate. Do you know what I mean?
That's what it's all about, mate. It's what it's all about. But look, anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to cut it short tonight. I'm going to go down and watch a film with me missus now. I just wanted to sort of jump on and say hello to everyone and basically get some subs for this channel. So subscribe before you leave, right? Subscribe before you leave.
People,
he's going to get back and watch the darts. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight in the chat. And we will see you on Sunday for our Christmas show on the main channel. All right? So we'll speak to you soon. Come on, you irons.